All right. So what we are doing today is we are going to look at how to solve this very famous dataset, which is iris flower dataset. We are going to solve it with the help of deep learning with the TensorFlow and Keras API. So let's look into it. What this dataset is all about. We have 150 sample. Let's look into the Jupyter notebook. First of all, let me import the important libraries. So in this week, what I'm doing is I'm just exploring how TensorFlow works for regression, classification, images. That's what we'll do in this week. From the next week, we'll dive deep into how the fundamental, how everything is working basically. So yesterday we did regression. We solved regression problem with the help of TensorFlow, and now we are doing classification. So let's see. Here is the dataset. Irish flower dataset. Fisher's Irish dataset is also the name. Okay. So in this dataset, what we have here is there are three classes of the flowers. This Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. And with the help of sepal length, petal width, sepal width, these are the four parameters we have. It must be given somewhere. So these are the three categories: virginica, versicolor, and setosa. Where are the features? Let's see. So here are the features. sklearn library also has this. So these are the four features we have given. With the help of these four features, we have to predict which flower class it is. So this is kind of a hello world dataset for the machine learning, and we are using it to we are solving it with the help of deep learning. So that's what we are going to do. Now let's load the dataset with the help of pandas, and let's see what our dataset looks like. These are the species Setosa. It is, let's see what is the shape. Maybe it must be 150. Yeah, 150 each. So 150 each, like Setosa, 50 samples of Setosa, 50 of versicolor, 50 of virginica. So that's how this dataset is distributed. So let's also see the tail of the dataset. Yes, we can see virginica. And what is the other method by which we can see? Here it is. DF species unique. We have Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. Okay, let's. Here, what I am doing is, so the what Keras model takes as input is, it takes only numbers. So what we have to do is we have to map these, we have to encode these labels. Like what I have done here is I have encoded versicolor as 0, Setosa as 1, virginica as 2. So that's what I have done. And what here I did was I just reshuffled the data. So basically I read somewhere that the data should be shuffled. Okay, it should not be like that. First of all, we are passing 100 samples of the same category and then 100 of the other. So that will hamper the learning. So for our model to learn properly, we should have correctly labeled and shuffled dataset. So that's what I am doing here. I am doing df.sample, which will shuffle the dataset randomly, and then I am resetting the indexes. Okay, so let's do this, and let's also encode the labels. That's what we did here. Ting, ting, and let's see it once again. Okay, so here we can see that now the dataset is shuffled. So we have two samples of from this class, second class, which is virginica, and now this is versicolor, three samples of this. Let's see 10 samples to see if our dataset is properly shuffled. Yes, we can see that two of this class, three of this, two of this again, and some other. So now we can move forward. Now what we are doing is I have declared the x variable and the y variable. In this, just simply remove this column, and these are the features by which we can predict the species. So let's do this and also create a separate training and test data frames. Okay, so this is our model. We have taken 3 hidden layers. Okay, so what is this? This is a, so also check this out, the TensorFlow documentation, everything is clearly and in detail explained. They have examples, so I copied this from here, so do look this out. They have also explained every function, they have explained in very clear fashion, so do check that out. So what this callback function does is we are doing early stopping. So let's say, let's see their example, what they are explaining. Maybe they have a graph. No, they don't have graph. So anyways, so first of all let's execute and then try to understand what is happening. Okay, model not compile. What we are doing is we have 3 categories. Okay, so first of all, activation function we are taking as ReLU activation function, and then in the last layer we have 3 categories. So we are taking softmax, so it will provide probabilities. What softmax activation function does is it outputs probabilities. So we have 3 classes, so softmax will output probabilities for each class. Okay, so we have created our model. Let's check out the summary. So total 1203 parameters, and then compiling, we are optimizing it with Adam optimizer, and accuracy is the metrics by which we will evaluate, and loss will be sparse categorical cross entropy. Okay, let's do this. And to check this callback function, so whether it works or not, I have purposefully set the epochs to 300. It is a very large number for this small data set, but let's do it and check what's the output. Okay, it is training, loss is going down. Good. Good. It is still training. Okay, so around 100 it stopped. So what it did was, so so let's see what we have here. We have passed early stopping. This is monitoring. We can pass here something. We have passed here loss. So it is tracking loss. And what is this patience? It is checking whether after, so see in the 90 so here we have 0.79 loss, and then loss increased and then increased and then increased. So it is checking for the around 3 epochs. It checked the loss. So if it is still increasing, it will stop. So that's what the model did here. So that's why early stopping is a good way to prevent overfitting. So what do I mean by that? Let me first of all show you. I think in this article it is given. So like here, so let's see if, so here we can see the loss in the training set is decreasing, decreasing. But what it's doing is on the test set it is doing performing poorly. So here we can see after around 800 epochs, the test loss, or we can say validation loss is increasing. So what early stopping does is early stopping will automatically stop here. So because the gap between the validation and training loss is increasing, so that means model is overfitting. Please do look out articles or videos on overfitting. It is very much important concept. Okay, so next what we are doing is we are predicting model dot predict x or test x underscore test. This is a data frame we separated in the separated earlier. Okay, so let's do it. And then what here I am doing is I am storing our the labels predictions. What is the shape of this? Okay, then this. So now let me explain what I did here. In this what I did was mm, let me also show you predictions. So okay, let's do one thing. Let's see what is there in predictions. So these are the labels, and what is the x test, x underscore test. So for these data points, what are the predictions? What are the so what this will provide? So let's see what is ypred. So ypred is, so as we have in the output layer we have softmax function, so it is providing probability. So these are the probabilities. So what we are doing is with the help of np.argmax we are taking which at what position which, okay, let's say it this way, which class is having the highest probability. So that's what this function is doing, np.argmax. So for all these values, we are taking the argument of the maximum value and we are storing it in a list called predictions, and then we are creating a data frame. And I created this just to evaluate the performance and see original y test was this, and these are the prediction. So we can see here every no, this one is incorrect, this is correct, this is correct. Almost all the samples are classified correctly. So this one is also incorrect. Okay, 3 out of 33 are incorrect. So this is a very good we can say accuracy. Let's see accuracy in the validation accuracy. See, 90%, around 90% accuracy we have. Okay, so that is very good. Let's also see this diagram also. So we can see here loss is decreasing. So we can say we have created a pretty good model. Okay, so also suggest if you have something, if you want to know something, and if you want to correct any of the steps that I have it see, there is every chance to improve. So let me know if there is something to improve upon. And yeah, thank you for today.